This isn't a sort of reenactment or something artificial that's going on here. This is Irish culture just as much as it is in Dublin or Cork. It's the same thing, it's not different.
To me, the Centre for Irish Music is a great school to learn Irish music, but I think beyond that, it's a community. It's a place to meet friends, to build friendships. Seeing the kids growing up together and sharing a love for Irish music has just been wonderful.
The first time I started getting really interested in it is when my mom was just messing around on the whistle, because we had a box of whistles downstairs in the basement, and she brought them up and she started learning this tune, and then I got jealous. And then I started wanting to learn the tune too, and then I just started picking it up and playing it.
My mom had me playing Suzuki violin for a little bit, and I hated it, and I told her, Mom, I'm never playing music if this is what it is. I'm never doing this. And then I got a tin whistle in my hands, and I adored it. The music that we're playing is really good, and it holds a standard to the rest of the world, and even in Ireland.
A number of years back, I had a work assignment which required my family and I to move to Galway, Ireland. And we'd never been to Galway, we'd never been to Ireland, for that matter. So we didn't really know that much about the Irish and their culture and their art and their music. But I had this connection with a little record store in town, and so was in there, and they said, well, you've got to get some Irish music. You should start with a couple of these CDs. So I brought these CDs home, and we played them in the house straight away, and we were all immediately captured by this music. We were all kind of drawn in, and there's a kind of an energy to it, and also a sense of something deeper. The Centre for Irish Music is a community. It's a community that's focused in on a culture that you may or may not have grown up with. So, but it's this kind of culture that's pretty wide open. So you don't actually have to be Irish to find a place here that you would really enjoy being a part of this with you and your family. And if your interests are just for the music, pure music, this is such a deeply musical place. It comes from a place that's deep within a culture, but yet it's kind of shared across culture.
I like that it's a community and we can just come at basically any time. There'll be a session that you can join. You can just play music with other people and learn tunes from other people, and you can teach other people other tunes. It's very social as well as playing music.
Me too, ditto. One of the neat things for me has been to have her being involved in the community outside of just our family, because we play music at home and she's introduced to it through me, but to have her learn tunes from somebody that's not me and to learn tunes with friends and be part of a group that's separate from me has been really fun to watch.
I think people really should take lessons at the Centre for Irish Music because there are good teachers, and in all of the ensembles, no matter how many people you have, it's still all fun, and you always learn something new every day.
My grandson and I both had expressed an interest in learning bodhrán, so we decided to sign up together, and that's really been a lot of fun to take lessons together. And Todd is such a great teacher. He's so patient with John and just keeps bringing us along, adding new techniques.
At my dance competition, it was all live musicians, and then I started doing the harp and the whistle.
Sounding good?
I loved it.
I want children singing with their parents. I want children singing with each other. I just think music is people's birthright, and every person can have music in their lives, and they can be musical participants, not just musical consumers.
Since the founding of the school, I think the entire Irish community has been led and, aided by this, foundational organisation being the Centre for Irish Music. There's a lot more goes on in the school than just music. And there's a lot more taught to the kids about the history of why it's important and what it ties them to. So now with a school of 200 students strong, the growth for the future is incredibly exciting, but it does take a lot of energy and a lot of work. And the collaboration between the Celtic Junction and the Centre for Irish Music, they're almost essential to each other. And I think it's been a great relationship over the last 10, coming up on 10 years as it is now.
Up sich an der Brache vor der Warin Boss, only horny for a pushy sus a trash. Up sich an der Brache vor der Warin Boss, only horny then for pushy sus a trash. Looking Andy Nandy, cooking Andy yo, spooking Andy Nandy, cooking Andy yo, cooking Andy Nandy, cooking Andy yo. 40 on the sheet, the slinking Philip yo. He didn't dance and dance and he didn't dance today. He didn't dance and dance, nor would he after day. He didn't dance and dance and he didn't dance today. He didn't dance and dance, nor did he yesterday. Throw him up, up, throw him up high, throw him up, up. He'll be back by and by. Throw him up, up, throw him up high, throw him up to heaven, we'll see if he can fly. Throw him over, say, throw him over, he'll come back again. Throw him over, say, throw him over, he'll come back for a day. Piper, sell your pipes and buy your wife a gown. Piper, sell your pipes, I'm sure they fetch a pound. Piper, sell your pipes and buy your wife a gown. I wouldn't sell my pipes for all the wives in town. Cookin' Andy Nandy, cookin' Andy, oh, cookin' Andy Nandy, cookin' Andy, oh, cookin' Andy Nandy, cookin' Andy, oh. 14 on the shield, the sink of Philippi ho. 14 on the shield, the sink of Philippi ho. James the thousand, rink a shame the mission go. 14 on the shield, the sink of Philippi ho. James the thousand, rink a shame the mission go. Oh, Shivana Classy, oh, Shivana Joy. Oh, Shivana Classy, rink of Philippi ho. Oh, Shivana Classy, oh, Shivana Joy. Oh, Shivana Classy, rink of Philippi ho. 14 on the shield, the sink of Philippi ho. Shin my Vigo, Dushel, Sally, Basket Joe. 14 on the shield, the sink of Philippi ho. Shin my Vigo, Dushel, Sally, Basket Joe. Oh, Shivana Classy, oh, Shivana Joy. Oh, Shivana Classy, rink of Philippi ho. Oh, Shivana Classy, oh, Shivana Joy. Oh, Shivana Classy, rink of Philippi ho. 14 on the shield, the sink of Philippi ho. Rasta Coro, Viva, my Regaxito. 14 on the shield, the sink of Philippi ho. Rasta Coro, Viva, my Regaxito. Oh, Shivana Classy, oh, Shivana Joy. Oh, Shivana Classy, rink of Philippi ho. Oh, Shivana Classy, oh, Shivana Joy. Oh, Shivana Classy, rink of Philippi ho. 14 on the shield, the sink of Philippi ho. Even then, I think the sheep's a coxy ho. 14 on the shield, the O Shivan McShoy, O Shivan McJassy, Link to Philip Show. O Shivan McJassy, O Shivan McShoy, O Shivan McJassy, Link to Philip Show.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. And my name is Nora Rendell, and I'm the Executive Director of the Center for Irish Music. And I want to welcome you one last time to the Minnesota Irish Music Weekend at Home. Our festival is coming to a close. In fact, this is our closing event, our concert by Matt Cranitch. And so I just wanted to tell you that all of the concerts that you've been seeing, including today's, are free, but a suggested donation is absolutely is welcome. Suggested donation of $10 if you are able at this time, and that goes towards supporting our artists and also supporting the Center for Irish Music, the presenting organization that has made this festival happen. And it has been an adventure. It's been a wonderful, wonderful weekend. We've just had so much fun, and we've met friends over our computers or online from all over the country, and we've even had a few people from Ireland joining us and a couple people from up in Canada. So thank you for joining us, and I want to talk about Matt Cranitch now. We're so excited to see this concert. We've been learning from him all weekend. Had a fantastic, kind of a fascinating interview. Got to know Matt just a little bit better yesterday. Hearing him speak about his life's work, studying and playing music from Sliabh Luachra. So I'm going to read just a little bit from his bio so that I can share some of this information with you. And so Matt Cranitch grew up in a musical family in County Cork in the south of Ireland, and it's a beautiful part of the country, and as is the music from that region. And from a young age, he had displayed a particular aptitude when he was a young boy for music, and went on to establish very quickly a reputation as a great fiddle player. He won All-Ireland titles, the Fiddler of Dooney, and the Oireachtas Crotty Cup. He's performed all over the world at concerts and festivals, as well as numerous appearances on radio and television. He is the author of the Irish Fiddle Book, which is an incredible resource. It was first published in 1988, and now it's in its 4th edition. You can get your copy if you go to our website, and he's just a fantastic, it's a really great resource. We have lots of students who have come to our school after learning a bunch out of his book, and it's just really highly recommended. So he's also contributed to other books on Irish traditional music and has many, many recordings with his, he had a band called Sliabh Notes, beautiful albums, and then solo recordings, Give It Shtick, Take a Bow, with tunes from a book that and CD that was published of all slow airs. It's absolutely beautiful. Anyways, it's hard. He's played a lot with Jackie Daly, and more recently recorded with Jackie Daly as well. And I would highly recommend any of his albums. In fact, all of his albums. And if you like this music, you have to hear his albums. So go ahead and buy them all on iTunes, or you can go to our website at Minnesota Irish Music Weekend, it's centerforirishmusic.org/events/MIM, and then go to artist merch, and there's some links there that Matt gave us. So those are good links for getting his music and his books. He's a lifelong learner, and we learned a lot about that yesterday, but he's he's presented many master classes and workshops on different aspects of traditional Irish music, particularly fiddle playing, of course. And he was awarded the Government of Ireland Senior Research Scholarship in 2002 for his work on the music of Sliabh Luachra, and he also received a PhD from the University of Limerick in 2006 for his study Padraig O'Keeffe and the Sliabh Luachra fiddle tradition. And in 2003, he's famous at UCC. If anyone has studied at UCC, you've usually come across Matt. And he received the University College Cork Hall of Fame Award in recognition to his incredible contributions to traditional Irish music. And I'll leave you with The Rough Guide to Irish Music, which is a great publication. But they said about Matt, and this is absolutely true, an exceptional musician and an authority on Irish fiddle playing, Matt Cranitch has been a major force in Irish music since the early 1970s. We have been so fortunate to have Matt with us this weekend for the last 4 days. He's a gentleman, he's an incredible teacher, and a wonderful musician, so I know you will enjoy this concert. So I will hand it over to Matt Cranitch. Enjoy.
Thank you very much, Nora. To be part of the Minnesota Irish Music Weekend, which this year, 2020, is at home. I'm coming to you from Cork in the south of Ireland in the province of Munster. And that province gives its name to the first two tunes I'm going to play for you, the Munster Jig and Munster Buttermilk. great. They were the two jigs, the Munster jig and Munster buttermilk. I'll continue now with two reels, and I suppose in the titles we trip around Ireland a bit. The first one is called McDonough's Reel, and the second tune is called the Killavel Reel. And Killavel, of course, is in County Sligo, a great fiddling county with a great tradition of fiddle music for many years. So McDonough's Reel and the Killavel Reel. Shall I? Okay, good morning. Thank you very much indeed for listening. We'll change the tempo now completely, and I'd like to play you a slow air, or a found mowl as we call it in the Irish language. I've been playing slow airs since I was very young, and have always liked playing airs, and as you know, the airs to a great extent are the melodies of the sean-nós, Irish language songs. This particular air I'll play for you now is called Aisling Gheall, and this comes from the West Cork Gaeltacht area of Cooley and Ballyvourne, and it's sung as a song in that region, but quite a number of people also play it as a slow air. So it's called Aisling Gheall. Okay, Aisling Yal. Next up, we're going to change the tempo again, and this time I'll play you a few slides. And these slides come from the Sliabh Luachra area. Sliabh Luachra, as you know, no doubt, is the region on the borders of northwest County Cork and east County Kerry, with a small section of southwest Limerick, renowned for particular tradition of music, great fiddle playing from that region, and the associated tunes like slides and polkas, as well as the more usual jigs and reels. So I'm going to play 4 slides. Now these, it's unusual maybe to play 4 slides together, but these are 2 sets of 2. The first 2 slides are the Brosna slide and the Scarty Glen slide, and they're often played as a selection, as a set of tunes, and slides 3 and 4, Padraig O'Keefe's favourite and Nellie Manny's slide are also played together as a selection of 2. But in recent times, people are in the region, in the Sliabh Luachra area, in places like Scarty Glen and Ballydesmond, people are playing the 4 slides as a selection. So I'll do that for you. So 4 slides. You'll probably recognise all of them, or certainly some of them. They're well known in the tradition, but as a selection of 4 tunes, they go very well together, I think. So I hope you enjoy these, and if you feel so inclined, you can dance around your living rooms or your kitchens while I'm playing these. So we'll start off with the Brosna slide. Okay, 4 slides there. And of course, people will tell you that you can't have slides without having polkas, the other big dance measure from the Sliabh Luachra area. And these next set of slides, the next set of tunes are 3 polkas and very much rooted in the Sliabh Luachra tradition. The first lives under the title of the 42-pound check. The second tune is called Pete Bradley's Polka, and the third is Eilidh Buckley's Fancy. Now, the people will tell you that lots of the slides of polkas don't have names, and it's often the case that they'll be titled after people in the locality, and that certainly is the case. Pete Bradley, sadly deceased, but he was a character in the locality when I was growing up, and this tune is named in his honour. And Eilidh Buckley is a great set dancer, still living in Mill Street, and any of you who have ever been in Dan Connell's pub in Knocknaboul over the years will probably have seen her dancing there. So she's remembered and honoured in the title of the third polka. So the 42-pound check, Pete Bradley's Polka, and Eilidh Buckley's Fancy. Okay, thank you very much indeed for staying with us so far. I hope you're enjoying this concert from a distance. Next up, I'm going to play you another slow air and another found vowel. And this slow air comes from the West Kerry Gaeltacht area. Dooney, between Ballyferriter. Travelling from Ballyferriter to Dunquin on the Dingle Peninsula, on the very west part of the Dingle Peninsula, is a little townland called Unghroig, and that was home to a great Shannon singer in the past, a man called Sean de Hora, and that's probably one of the most westerly point in Ireland, if not in Europe, certainly in Ireland, looking out over the Atlantic, looking west towards the New World, so to speak. But anyway, one of Sean's great big songs was a Shannon song called Madden Rover. It starts off Éisteach Shalom Gnosach Gael Div. So listen to me for a while I tell you this story. So this is the air of that song, Madden Rover. Okay, Madden Rover, early one morning, from the singing of the great West Kerry Shannon singer Sean Dahora. Okay, moving on, we'll move back to the Sliabh Luachra area for the next set of tunes. Two hornpipes this time, and the first tune is called Pádraig O'Keefe's Hornpipe. Now, I'd like to tell you a little bit about Pádraig O'Keefe. Pádraig O'Keefe, widely considered to be one of the greatest, if not the greatest, musicians and influences on the music from that part of the world. Pádraig was born in 1887 and he died in 1963. He trained as a school teacher, and from 1915 until 1920 or so, he taught school in a place called Glounthaune, which is not far from the Cork-Kerry border between Ballydesmond and Castleisland. But by 1920 it was clear to Pádraig and indeed the school authorities that Pádraig wasn't cut out for that way of life. And from about 1920 until he died in 1963, a period of 43 years, Pádraig travelled, usually walking on foot, throughout the Sliabh Luachra area, playing music and teaching the fiddle. He also taught the accordion and the concertina and other instruments, but the fiddle was his main instrument. He spent his life living in Glounthaune, the place where he had taught school and where he had grown up, and as I said, he moved throughout the Sliabh Luachra area teaching the fiddle, calling to people's houses and teaching the different townlands throughout the area. He used two systems of music notation or tablature involving numbers or figures, as they call them, to teach the music. For the fiddle, he used 4 spaces to denote the 4 strings, and 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on for the fingering. More importantly, in my opinion, he specified the bowing in all the fiddle manuscripts that he wrote. He specified the bowing in entirety, and I think that's a great gift to those of us who followed on from Pádraig. But anyway, the first tune here is called Pádraig O'Keefe's Hornpipe. It comes from his manuscript. It was untitled in the manuscript, so I call it simply Pádraig O'Keefe's Hornpipe. And the second tune, I suppose, owes more to County Clare than it does to the Sliabh Luachra area. It's called Mickey O'Callaghan's Fancy. Great. Two hornpipes, as I said, Paddy O'Keefe's hornpipe and Mickey O'Callaghan's fancy. Staying in the Sliabh Luachra mold, so to speak, I'll play you a few more polkas. Now, among Paddy's pupils, we can list the great fiddle players, brother and sister Dennis Murphy and Julia Clifford, and of course the great Paddy Cronin, who may have been known to some of you as well. Paddy spent a lot of his time living in the Boston area. But Dennis and Julia, in 1969, Dennis Murphy and Julia Clifford recorded a wonderful album, a recording has gone on to become an iconic album, really, called The Star Above the Garter. That was the name of the recording. But on that, a set of polkas on that were called the Knocknaboul polkas. Knocknaboul is a location. It's a four crossroads, really, as you travel from Castle Island or Scotland, from that area towards Ballydesmond. As you just head to the county boundary between Cork and Kerry, you pass through Knocknaboul. So it's a locality there, and these two tunes are known as the Knocknaboul polkas. So, as I said earlier, if you feel so inclined to dance around the kitchen or your front living rooms, or indeed out in the street, now is your chance to do a figure of the polka set. Right, thank you very much indeed for staying with us so long. I'm so sorry that we're not together having this concert in a live setting where I can experience the feedback and we can all commune together with the music, but I suppose this is a second best option. As I said at the outset, I'm delighted to be part of the Minnesota Irish Music Weekend at home this year. Great credit to Nora and her very dedicated team for putting this great event together. It wasn't easy, I'm sure, to make it all happen. So many diverse strands to bring together, and people on both sides of the Atlantic. So I'm honoured to have been asked to partake in the event, and I'm delighted to have done so. Keep up the great work. The other person I'd like to mention, of course, is my old friend from a long time ago, Dahi Sproul. So thank you to Dahi for the interview that he has done with me, and as I mentioned, Nora herself, so well done to all. I'll finish off with 3 reels, fairly well known tunes, the Limerick Lasses, the Blacksmith's Reel, and the last tune, Free and Easy. So gur míle mágaibh, bhhailm slán agus íhawa rí chuaibh ó Corcaigh an sá in Éireann. I'm wishing you well from Cork in the south of Ireland as we bring this great event, Minnesota Irish Weekend at Home, to a close with this selection of reels. So, thank you very much. Good night.
Woohoo! Amazing! Wow, thank you so much, Matt. That was Matt Cranitch, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Matt Cranitch on the fiddle, and we got to hear him play for a good long time on his own, which is just such a treat. It's so lovely to hear you play solo, and I have to say the airs for me were the highlight. They were just absolutely gorgeous. It's so beautiful just amazing to hear that music. It's not played enough and listened to enough, and to bring those songs and those memories and those feelings back. It's just incredible. Thank you so much. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is a wrap. The Minnesota Irish Music Weekend at Home 2020 is finished, and I wanted to thank you so much for being a part of it, for watching the concerts, for taking the workshops. We had record-breaking attendance, and I wanted to tell you that there were 127 adults joined us, 31 teens, and 14 trad immersion campers ages 9 to 12, and the teens came to tons of the adult workshops. So that is the most interest we've ever had for this weekend, and so it's just amazing to see what opportunities are there for us when we're willing to be creative, and there's just no doubt that there are so many people in the world, but in particular Minnesota and our area, who love this tradition, and they love playing the music and they love learning about it, and we feel honored to be able to connect you to some of these incredible teachers and just musicians, carriers of the tradition. It's just an honor to be able to do that. So thank you so much. Be sure to support Matt Cranitch by purchasing his books and CDs. You can find them on our website, the links that Matt had recommended. So go ahead and check that out. I want to thank our sponsors, the Minnesota Irish Music Weekend at Home sponsors, Larkin Hoffman Attorneys, thank you. The Metro Regional Arts Council, who gave us a significant grant for this activity, and the Minnesota State Arts Board for supporting, and the taxpayers of Minnesota for supporting the Center for Irish Music all year round with an operating support grant. And then our concert sponsors, the Celtic Junction Art Center. Thank you so much for your support of our work. It's not too late to make a donation to the Minnesota Irish Music at Home Concert Fund. So I think Michelle is going to put a link up there for you. You can still make a contribution to support this event and future events like this. I know we're going to be doing this again. And then finally, just a plug for our summer classes and our summer lessons. There's some really great group classes happening starting this week. So if you want more, you can get more. Everything that we're offering is online for the whole summer. We want to keep our teachers safe and our students safe, and people are starting to get together a little bit here and there, but it's still not quite time for us to be together at the Celtic Junction. So and then finally, just a massive thank you to everybody who came together to put this event together. So Evolution Productions, Michelle McGregor, Pete McCauley, our cameraman last night, and our kind of he's worked with Michelle, and they've put together all of our virtual events, and to the Center for Irish Music staff and the Center for Irish Music Board, and to our artists that we had this year. It was just amazing. So I don't have anything else to say. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you again, and go relax, turn off your computers, go on a walk, go on a jog, do some gardening, and we'll see you again in 2021.